Hello, welcome. This is Jane Morba, and welcome to another Stellar Lux podcast. I am so excited that you're here and we have another fabulous guest. The Stellar Lux podcast is a collective group of women that I've been inviting into this space and conversation who have a diverse background in regard to their niche, their skills, their impact, and their entrepreneurism. And what they contribute to the world and their community. Jean has been somebody I've really been wanting to have this conversation with, and she agreed to be one of the top 10 women in this conversation. And I'm so excited for the audience to meet Jean because she has a very special background in regard to her entrepreneurism, her inspiration, her motivation for people in the community. So let me introduce you to Jean. Um, Jean is someone I have met in the local yoga community in New Jersey. Jean is known as a big vision coach and an empire builder. And she's works with high performers throughout the world. She empowers her clients to expand the possibilities for themselves. And in doing so, she feels it maps her own legacy of leaving positive impact on the world. She is a certified NLP coach, holds the professional certified coach credential from International Coaching Federation, has extensive embodiment and somatic experience from her Journey Dance and Kripalu School of Mindful Outdoor Leadership Training. Jean is a speaker, a best-selling author, entrepreneur, and coach who has spoken to over 150,000 people nationwide in her in-person programs. Jean believes that someday is now, that life is happening now, and that we get to choose and design and redesign our lives. As Jean says, choice is the most powerful thing we own. How our lives looks, sounds, and feels always starts with the choice to honor and appreciate the gifts and lessons from our past. Acknowledge and stand in the truth of the now and courageously prepare for the future. We are designing one choice at a time. Thank you, Jean, for coming on board. I'm really excited to have this conversation. I think you're going to inspire so many people. And so let's get to it. Let's.
Jane, I'm so excited to be here. I love this work that you're doing and really showcasing women, and I'm honored. I'm honored to be here. I love this space that you're providing. So thank you so much for having me here today.
Oh, you're welcome. So we are local up in New Jersey, and that's how we
Yes.
met. When I came back from California, I started to go into yoga communities and just to get my grounding and be back with my family. And you're one of the first few people that I met that when you extended your heart and your eyes and your vision, to me or in any invitation, I was kind of perked up to say yes. Like it was an easy yes for your invitations because I knew
Well,
I
I
just
think it's the
needed
I
it.
think we had the same vibe. Like we were like, you know what? I see you. I see you, and you are always moving and growing towards bigger things, which is also really inspiring to me. And yes, we may have met in the yoga community, but it's really exciting to see where we're gonna go from here, right? With connection and community.
Yes, it's been a couple of years since we met, but I could see we've both been evolving. So why don't you share a little bit about your origin story? Maybe like, did you grow up in New Jersey or somewhere else, or and then your origin story, or what influenced and shaped you to move into the personal growth space, coaching, you know, um, that type of thing. Maybe a little bit about your story, your background.
Sure. So I'm not originally from Jersey, but I now claim Jersey. I lean in. I'm leaning into it. But I'm originally from New England. I grew up in Northampton, Massachusetts, which is a really liberal, progressive space. And I had no idea when I was growing up there that I was already being surrounded by people who were bold with ideas and speaking out, and just people stepping into courage. I joke about this now with my husband because he grew up in New Jersey, and that's why, I'm now here. And but he grew up in a very traditional, I think about it as an all-American town, where everybody goes to football games in high school and all of the things, and that was not my experience at all. In where I grew up, we, had walkouts, and we were always protesting something, and I had no idea that I was even growing up in an environment that was slightly different than maybe a traditional American experience. It was just because I was growing up in a university, college space, and with where I grew up is where Smith College is. So lots of given that that's an Ivy League women's university,
Mhm.
there was a lot of bold women's voices, like always around me. And when I headed off to college, I went to college at Wagner College. I did undergrad there, which is in Staten Island, New York. It gave me access to New York City and kind of bridging me into a more metropolitan area. But ultimately, one of the most pivotal moments was this experience that I had, Jane, between high school and college, because faith is an important part of my life. And I got involved with a group with other young people and teenagers to do a missions trip. And I had never been on a missions trip before. And I uh, I ended up traveling that summer between high school and college to Haiti, and we worked with an orphanage there, and we I helped I helped to build a roof on a church, and we worked with this medical clinic. And I was 17 years old at the time, and it was this massively pivotal moment for me to witness that at least I, in that moment, had been blessed with certain opportunity. And as I was meeting other teenagers, in this case from Haiti, who uh, at the time were not blessed with the type of opportunity that I had, I felt tremendously driven to not waste the opportunity that I felt and I saw I was being given.
Mhm.
And so it really charged me up to work tremendously hard when I was in college. And I did 6 internships. I was determined. I was like, I'm not going to waste any type of opportunity. And I started to really build my routine and my momentum for um focus on professional, success. And I wanted to make sure that there was a space that I could be leaving my mark. And again, just being driven, recognizing that for some reason I had been born into the United States with certain opportunity. And even if um things could be better and opportunities could always be better, that I wanted to make the most of the space and the time and any type of resources that were here. So that was it was a driving force.
Mhm.
I will share with you that that moment was key in a launch of intentional, early success in my young years. But I'll also be honest with you, Jane, and you and I know each other, have known each other now long enough that this part of me. And that is it probably also was the origin story of becoming and I'll becoming a workaholic. Like
Oh.
and so I just want to I'll stand in my truth about that. Like
Mm,
it was almost a double-edged sword
mm,
for me. Um really igniting drive, but also I think as I reflect on it now, I don't think that there was no boundaries on that. It was work hard, go do more, do more, do more, do more. And and granted, supported some fast successes and some drive with, building companies and helping others build companies and things like that. But I think that it also um, may have started what was then going to be the origin story of why I ultimately had to find myself in the curiosity of what personal development was and coaching because I and I don't know if these moments have happened for you, Jane, but I found myself at different points in my life understanding what burnout was.
mm. Wow. Wow. One of my questions was what were your setbacks? So this is one of the setbacks that kind of shaped you to, hit up against burnout. And this is something I'm just learning about you too, that you're super driven, but I see you as a driven person. That's part of probably your essence to be driven. But once you got to recognize your burnout, did that
Mhm.
lead to the somatic work and personal
Yeah.
growth and balance or whatever we call it?
Yeah, there was definitely a few points of maybe a couple of different burnouts, one in my 20s, one in my maybe my mid 30s, and one about I'm 50 years old now, and one at the very beginning of my 40s, and that I significantly remember where uh, the just kind of pushing and trying to build and grow and and having these moments of and there were I'm so grateful sometimes people cross our path at the right time. um my coach, we all have a coach, my coach likes to remind me that sometimes the universe is conspiring to help us.
Mm,
And I had a really good friend, my friend Carrie Urban, who she said, Jean, you should go and take some time and you need to you should check out this place called Kripalu. And
mm,
I had never heard about Kripalu. Kripalu is a yoga retreat center. They have lots of different practitioners who come in and out of it was a former ashram, but it's a space to attend different retreats, and it's in the Berkshires in the United States and in Massachusetts. And I said, okay, I'm going to go. And when I went there for the very first time, I I had been navigating a burnout and kind of on the recovery of that. And uh, I thought up until that point that it was, simply a matter of, okay, uh, eat well, sleep well, get your exercise, and then let's reset and let's keep going. Like it was the idea of keep going.
mm,
And I went to my very first, retreat, I guess it was, um, and it was amazing. I I just I've discovered journey dance while I was there, which is this beautiful moving meditation practice. And I started to discover other practices and coaching and people coming into my life and challenging me and asking me questions that really just started to open my mind.
mm,
And it really just started to help me just take a breath, like I hadn't felt in a really long time.
Mm.
And that's, I think, the beginning of when I started to get really curious about personal development work and deep diving into psychology and human behavior and trying to understand my own human behavior, but also recognizing that this humanness, right, this imperfect humanness that's showing up in the world, there's always space to grow. There's always space to take the understanding deeper. And it doesn't have to be therapy, and it doesn't have to be this deep dive into old stuff that maybe, was not right for that space, that it got to be, what do I want to move toward? And at the same time, really challenging me to be in the now. You
Mm.
shared in my introduction that, and then you introduced me so beautifully. Thank you so much.
Mm.
That I have this belief. Well, two anchoring beliefs. One is that choice is the most powerful thing that we own. Like, we choose that. There is nothing. No one else owns that. I own my own choices, for good or for bad. Right? We own our own choices, and this other anchoring belief that someday is now. Like, I don't have to live in the present. I don't have to constantly, it doesn't have to constantly be about the driving, the building, the scaling. Because it's been like that for a long time. That life is happening right now.
Mm.
And it's so important. The best thing that I can do, in my opinion, and everyone, it gets to own their own choice, right? That my choice is that I want to be as present as I can right now. We don't know how much time we have, and how many moments we have. And the scaling is always there, and the building gets to be always there. And but right now, I'm lucky enough, you're lucky enough that we get to sit with each other right now, and I'm so grateful for that, to
Mm.
savor that. And that feels like, for me, a much more rich, meaningful life. And I want to live even more into that.
Mm. Wow. This is very powerful. And I think you're bringing really, one of the questions is, what are the tools do you want to bring? What are the tools that you've been imparting into your clients, or the women you work with? And I think you're grounded enough, is all that work you have done is the essence, the tonic, the mantra, like, of living in the moment and making a choice. So I think you're an inspiration for a lot of people. So in this in this grounding, in this toolbox that you have, in this framework, um, how do you take people further on their journey? When when they work with you, or when you facilitate groups or retreats or events, this is the framework. This is the foundation. Is that what I'm hearing? Mm.
So the framework that is really core to work that I do, with individuals, is unpacking with them what's been keeping them in either a stuck state, or what is um, what's delaying their momentum of their 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 most ignited life, right? And one of the pieces that I fold into all of my work, because it's been a really central piece for me. It is it's three parts, and any one of us, any one of us, any one of your listeners, your viewers can take this on. through, journaling, through, moving it into their bodies, through having conversations and connecting with other people. But a really core piece is uh, three parts. It's the honoring of the past, like literally our past, our I am who I am. You are who you are. We are who we are because of the journey that's come before,
Mm.
right? And the people who've come before. And for good or for bad, um, I believe certain things because people have influenced my life. My life is shaped because of the path. And right now, like standing in right now, um, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of it.
Yeah.
And that's and and I know that the path, you know, the path that has maybe led us to where we are right now, um, wasn't a straight line, right? And
Yeah.
so I really I find it to be important to just to have an honoring and of the past, an acknowledgement of the present. Like we are here right now, and our in this big old club of human beings that we're in, our our human mind likes to pull us either to the future or pull us to the past. So there's a challenge of the acknowledgement of right now. This is my body right now. This is where I'm at right now. This is my bank account, my relationships, my health, all the things. Like here's where I am, and the acknowledgement of this is where we're at, right?
Mm.
um I always think about the the big map in the malls, right? That we use it. You are here, right? Like you are here. Let's get clear. Like, all right, I'm here. Like here's where I'm at. And it doesn't have to be, we don't have to have any type of emotion around it. Like it gets to be a neutral state. Like you are here. Here's where I am. Here's where I'm at. And so honoring of the past, acknowledgement of the present, and then a preparation for the future. And the preparation for the future gets to start with that choice.
Mm.
What do I want more of? What do I want less of? What do I want to achieve? What do I want to avoid? What do I want to say yes to? What do I want to say no to? Right. And
Mm.
and so this um uh obviously there's so much more depth that we get to process through and all of those things. But through that framework of giving some appreciation and gratitude for all of the things, the pain and the joy that's brought us to where we are.
That's
That's,
wow.
yeah, what's resonating with you?
No, I love that. It's really resonating. It sounds like just owning what has happened in our past to our present, what we want for the future, owning these. And it just
Yeah.
brings up to me chapters of our lives, like in a book. And if we can just look like that was the chapter there, that was the chapter there, and not to run away from it, but
Yeah.
to own it, it would probably discharge anything that's really heated. And it just maybe opens up space to
Yeah.
go after what we really want. And I think it's a really beautiful framework. I was actually very curious what that framework is, and it feels very high level. And you've done a lot of work, but you can be that leader. Like I look at you as the lead. You have like a big capacity for holding space and leadership because you understand the human potential. And
Same. I'm just
okay.
gonna say right back at you. Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To my
Yeah.
friend. Yes. I'm saying, and
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, I want to hang out with more women like you. Like, and that's one of my choices. I want to hang out with higher level. I don't want to say that it was, I don't know if that's the right word, higher level, but a higher consciousness of person that's holding space, that's challenging themselves, that's making an impact. I want to be in this space with women like that because it would lift me up to
Yes.
hold my energy as a leader too. And
Yes.
I do think your vision for people is to tap into what's their potential. Everybody has it. For me, it's maybe more leadership and feminine power. Maybe for you, it's holding space, more potential, and obviously in the bio. And there's some different habits. Do you use a lot of somatic work in your daily life and like your life in general? I do see you walking a lot, and you really track your walking. Like, so, and I'm sure that's a
Everyone
some.
talks about the walking. Yeah, I walk. I do walk at least 5 miles a day. I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's great. So that's one of your foundational habits, and that works for you. Maybe not work for maybe somebody else
Yeah.
that's doing Pilates and yoga, for 2 hours or whatever. So and
I think part of
yeah.
it is the for me it's not about the steps. It's about um being outside. Like I
Mm,
actually I canceled my gym membership.
yeah.
I haven't been there in a really long time. Uh I am for me it's being outside in nature, different times of the day. It doesn't
Mm.
that doesn't matter the temperature. I will bundle up, I'll put on the rain gear, put on the snow gear, put on this, the sunblock, but it is about for me um taking time that I'm again this it's almost like a challenge to my own self about being present that
Yep.
life is happening right now. And
Mm.
I want to on and it makes me a little emotional to say it, but I want to watch and catch every sunrise I possibly can. I want to see every sunset I possibly can. I want to get away from my freaking computer and I and my devices, and I want to witness and see every beautiful flower and recognize that next week there's going to be a whole new set of flowers. And I'm like I am so I'm always looking around like, are there any what are the beautiful creatures around? Are there bunnies or turtles or what birds or like the woodpeckers or whatever, whoever is like joining me in the morning. To me, my somatic work is moving, like moving and walking, but it is also noticing, to slow myself down and notice. And that energizes me in a mental way, in a physical way, in an emotional way, in a spiritual way,
Mm.
that then I can come back after taking my first walk. I don't walk 5 miles all at once. I do like a couple of walks during the day, sometimes 2 or 3 walks. But I'm grateful to live where I live. It's at a beautiful area, and it's a quiet community by a lake, and there's a lot of nature. And I can have this walk, and I can come back, and then I can show up fully for the clients that I serve. And
Wow.
that's really
Mm.
important to me, right? But I got to fill
Yeah.
my cup and bring my aliveness and bring my energy, and then I get to pour into people. And I do love somatic work. I love journey dance. I love lots of different moving meditations,
Mhm.
and I love to move my body. I'm grateful for um any way that my body feels comfortable moving, but I'm also um I think of my practices um as connecting beyond like the dimension of just it's not just physical activity. To me, it's I'm connecting with the world, or I'm connecting with myself, um or I'm connecting with sometimes just whether I'm in a moving meditation
Mm.
and dancing through it, or I am on a walk. That is the time for me to think about how grateful I am about life, and and also get really intentional about what are the relationships I want to be building, right?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, that's really powerful. That's really important. I'll be transparent and a bit vulnerable here too, in terms of somatic work and working out. And you said you canceled your membership and you're committed to the walk, and it seems to fill you and it fills your cup, and then you're able to pour into your clients. I've been having a love-hate relationship with the gym
Yeah.
myself. Like I feel I'm in midlife 60s. I got to keep the muscles strong. And I'm thinking, is it that the way? And I fight it all the time. And I keep saying, just go back to the yoga studio, just go back to Pilates, but maybe just walking outside and really tracking the thoughts and journaling and more somatic work and not get caught up in what you think you have to do, but listen
Yeah.
to the soul. And it's been knocking on my door for the last maybe month or and a half. Like, why go somewhere it's just not jiving? And
Yeah.
so maybe you're giving me permission, and maybe it's going to give some other people permission. So thank you so much. I think I'm going to explore that myself. And I
I
love,
love that you're
yeah,
already listening to it. Like it sounds like you're
yeah,
already listening to it. Like,
yeah,
we all we have I mean I feel you so much, Jane,
yeah,
about the shoulds,
yeah,
right? Like I
yeah,
should be doing this and I should
yeah.
be doing that and I should be now lifting weights and I should be doing this and like Tony Robbins, who is a huge influence in my life, he says stop shoulding all over yourself, right? So
Oh,
like the shoulds, like just should the should sometimes with my own clients when the should comes in, I'll challenge my clients of it's should according to whom. Is it your should or
yeah.
somebody else's should? Is somebody
Mm,
else saying that you should do this? Like at the end of the day, like again, like um we come back to ourselves like what lights you up?
yeah. Mm, yeah.
Um
Yeah. I think it's an excellent, an excellent aha, in this conversation. And maybe it will give more people permission to really look at this. It's almost, I don't know what the word is, but it's self-hatred. It could be kind of I know this is going to be a little stretch, like a little violent kind of action. Like, why not do something that's loving and that your
love
soul
that.
is calling for and not,
Oh, I love that. I
yeah,
love that
just
language.
a little intense language, but, to really track it, journal it. I like there's a dance, lots of dance movement, dance practices. Your dance practice, I think I have purchased body grooves and a women who just like, Missy, her name, I forget her name, but
Yeah.
and I have it, and I'm like, do that in the morning. Like you're feeling your feet on the ground, you're
Missy
feeling your,
Tripoli.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And I think it's so, and I think she says in her videos once, we don't belong in the gym. We belong on the floor, lady, people, and like we're just different or whatever she says when I'm like I feel that, and that's how I felt with you in the yoga studios when the journey dance was happening. Oh, it was so liberating, right? So
Yeah,
it's a practice that can continue on. So it's permission seeking time of now to say
yeah,
that's my practice, this is my
yeah.
practice. So thank you. It really is. I hope more people just get inspired. I am inspired by this too.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're also speaking out about the fact about all of us giving ourselves permission
Yeah.
to figure out what sparks for us
Yeah.
because
Mm.
because y- you know you know you get to do Jane's way and I get to do Jean's way and like
Yeah.
we get to do our own thing and I'll I I I I don't think I've shared this with you, Jane. I'll share this with you now that there was I never I had never thought that I was gonna if someone had told me even a year ago that I would have this daily it's almost like a walking meditation practice that I do that I would have said what that's not me like
Really? Mm.
but yeah I it wasn't it the nature piece has always been a part of my life but about a year ago I was in Alaska and my husband had turned 50 and I said, you know what? I'm taking you Alaska for your birthday and we're gonna do it up. And we 2 weeks and a week on land and a week on the cruise ship, and I said we're going to do all of the things, right? Like life is happening now, right? Like we're going to do all of the things, um and I'll stand in my truth about the fact that at the end of the trip, while I was in Alaska, I got really sick. So sick that it was like a they thought that I had pneumonia. I was on IV treatments at the base of this for 3 days in on the ship in Alaska. So here was this trip of this lifetime, and my health um had not been at a point for me to sustain the experience of this amazing trip. And it was in that, you talk about like pivotal moments and bookmarks of our life and all of that. That trip and being literally on IV treatments in the clinic, the hospital clinic of the cruise ship at the end of that trip, uh, I I knew I had to do something different. And I
Wow.
knew that I had to as much as I was already hiking, I was already dancing, I was already doing these things, that I had to actually make my well-being the most important thing of my day. And
Wow.
we haven't talked about this. And
No, I didn't know. It's like the dark night of the soul moment. Like it
so
shift your whole identity and
yeah, and
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 of
you know
wellness.
it had been because the traveling around Alaska, there had already been like a lot of hiking and moving and things like that I had been in that at that point, kind of like I'm tracking my steps and like all of the things, and make at that point I was like, I'm going to get my 10,000 steps. Oh wow, look at this. And when we came back from Alaska, and I went and went to see my doctors, and we had more chest scans, and gratefully I had not, it was just a really severe bronchitis. I didn't have pneumonia, but it was very, we thought that it would anyway. It was very, I was really scared about my lungs. And uh and needless to say, I made this decision. I said, you know what, I'm gonna keep going with this 10,000 steps. And that was September, the month of September of 2025. And when I have to tell you, like, I had never prioritized a piece of my well-being history like that. I don't think I don't know if ever. And September moved forward, and I said, okay, this was good. I'm going to just take it one step up and not just do 10,000 steps. I'm going to do 5 miles a day. And that started October of 2025. And I've never missed a day.
Oh, that's beautiful. And it works. And it was the right resonance
Yeah.
for your life.
So
What a
sometimes the universe conspires to help us, right?
yeah.
And we are who we are because of all of it. And the health scare at the end of, at the end of this very, intentional and very expensive trip that we were on, right? Like I was like, we're this trip of a lifetime, and I'm missing it.
Yeah.
And I'm
Mm,
missing it
mm,
because my health was not at the optimal level that I wanted it to be at.
wow.
And so I said, you know what? Um, I don't want to miss any more days of my own life.
Mm,
Life's happening right now.
yeah.
So what does that mean? That means I'm going to I'm going to keep serving, I'm going to keep working, I'm going to keep doing all the things. But I get to, I get to also design my life
mm,
in a way that honors my well-being, my health, my um, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual energy first, and then I can go be of service. So it was a really
mm.
big change.
Oh, that's so inspiring. So illuminating. Yeah, I think I could almost see in the last year your 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 whole resonance has shifted, and it's from that. So now we know the story. And like this was the medicine, there, and I think that spiritual work, the somatic work, the journey dance, the yoga, like forest bathing, like, it is the medicine. And I think we get, obviously get caught up in this high achieving physical thing that we
Yeah.
see in the world. And maybe it's just not everyone's framework. It's not everyone's jam at all. So, um, really, I'm glad we covered this. I think it was really important that we covered wellness. I didn't know what we were going to talk about, really. I just knew I wanted to be in your space. I wanted you to be in the Stellar Lux podcast, and like, yeah, you're like a high shaman woman, to me, leadership, I'm gonna say a Stellar Lux leader. No, but you're in your way. And what are some of the words would you say when you do your coaching or leadership? Do you call it momentum, connection, or, to get to your higher self and to just get in the now and achieve what you want to achieve? I mean, this is coaching. Coaching is the accountability, and it's a skill set. We need more high quality coaches. So, mm,
Jane, I think that the words that always come up for me are words like momentum, words
yeah.
like aliveness, like
Mm,
literally aliveness.
yeah.
Words. I love the word ignite.
Mm,
I love the word to energize my life. Like I love because there's to me there's nothing that is stagnant, even as we kind of quiet ourselves in the now. There's so much happening, right? There's so much happening where so those are words that I use, and I think about leverage. The word I use a lot is leverage. Like, how are we going to leverage this, right?
mm.
And I but I want to acknowledge you, friend, for
Oh,
you've created such an incredible container
mm,
for helping women to come together and inspire other women, other people. It's exciting to witness you always in next levels of your own transformation, your own community building,
yeah.
and you're always uplifting people. So, I
Mm,
mean, I feel so grateful
mm,
that the universe has crossed our paths. I'm so grateful
yeah.
to know that I get to keep witnessing you and see you blossoming and growing, and I this community that you've created with Stellar Lux is just amazing. And
Mhm.
so thank you again for letting me be part of this today.
Oh, thank you. I am. I receive, and I am building this community, and that's what this platform is about. I might not be building people in rooms together, but I think it's a virtual thing. And I think building these conversations will be a series that can really have people see all different women in our greatness. So I'm ready to step it up. And I think you and I are going to be stepping it up and igniting our fire in the fall. Can we talk about that?
Yes, I'm so excited. Yes,
Another invitation came my way from Jean, and um, we are going to Miami in the
we're
fall,
going to Miami. Yes.
and we're doing a Ignite Your Fire retreat. And I am So excited. So want to share with the audience a little bit about this or yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm really, really I'm so jazzed that
Mhm.
that you and I are gonna get to like spend this time together. So it is in at the end of October, I've put together a very intimate amazing women's retreat called Tend the Fire, Your Fire Within. And I've set this up because I'm going to be doing a fire walk when I'm in Miami
Yeah.
in November, and I'll be doing that fire walk at a Unleash the Power Within event with Tony Robbins. And I knew I was going to be going to this event, and it was something that I was like, oh, I'm gonna be doing this fire walk as almost a culmination of my 50th birthday year. And I have this practice. I've been doing this now for 20 years. It started the very first time I went to Kripalu, which I mentioned. But I have a practice in to prepare for reflection of my life in and around my birthday. Like I do it every year where I go away to uh, honor my past, acknowledge my present, prepare for my future. And I um I thought this year, I was like, wow, I'm going to be doing this practice. It's something that is such an important part of my own reflection. And this year, I really want to do it with amazing, incredible, powerful women who are building their next level of their life. And of course, you came to mind. And I was like, of course, I'm inviting Jane. And I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So this, yeah, it's a small group, intentionally of incredible, dynamic, women like yourself who are all building very different things, and stepping into very distinct chapters for themselves. And that's happening. That's happening in Miami, in North Miami, and it's going to be amazing. I
I
can't wait
it's I
for
can't
oh my
wait.
gosh, it's
I
going to be
can't wait.
so
Um,
incredible.
I'm really
Um,
excited. I think it's part of that leadership, holding space, supporting women, and really getting to what needs to come into fruition right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm preparing, and I'm so happy to come on this journey and receive the invites and be in co-creation. I'm
It's
ready
gonna
to.
be amazing. It's gonna
Yes.
be so incredible. And although Miami, Miami was um Miami is full. Right now though, I'm really excited that I just did the announcement just some days ago. I'm really excited that a year from now, so
Yeah.
right now you and I are talking in August of 2027. I am going to be doing the Ignite the Fire Within World Retreat
Yeah.
in Bali. So we're going to
Yeah.
be going to Bali, and I will tell you, I don't know if you've ever been to Bali, Jane. I've never
No.
been to Bali, but there is this moment, like it's, life is happening now. Let's like live in these moments. Let's like fill our cups with
Mm.
as many incredible life moments as we can have. I'm literally, this is the whole like origin of this Bali retreat, this world retreat. I saw that in Bali, they call them the Bali swings.
Mhm.
You literally get dressed up like a goddess, and you get harnessed into these, safely into these swings, and you swing out over the countryside, and photographers just photograph you and have this amazing
Oh.
experience. And I was like, you know what? I want that moment.
Mm.
I want that moment. I'm going to travel all the way across the world. I want to be dressed up like a goddess. I want to go to a temple and have and experience different incredible honorings and blessings of life. And I want to do this, and let's do this. And so I'm doing it. It'll be the first of my world retreats.
Yeah.
I think in the future there's going to be Italy and maybe Brazil and definitely Paris and some other places that I just love, 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 love. And we're gonna but this is gonna be the first of the world retreats.
Mm.
So maybe you'll join me there too. But
Oh,
any
maybe. I
yeah,
would
me
love
too.
to. So
Me
that
too.
was one of my questions. If you can go mastermind with women in some amazing place, I think it's already there. I would say Miami and Bali, but you say it if you want to, you're going to be doing world retreats, so, and you're holding the container, you've done the work, you know what the foundation is to really fill your own cup so you can fill other people's cups. So I'm just, we're witnessing it. We're hearing it right now, right now.
And we
The,
get to do this together, right?
yeah,
It's about it is about us having these moments where we can uplift each other, and we can also, I mean, I'm just going to put truth on the table, where we
okay.
can also challenge each other. I
Okay.
mean, that's why that's what Miami's about. That is
Yeah.
what it's not um I'm gonna just say this.
Yeah.
There's plenty enough there's plenty of people um and I'm grateful for this. So I'm going to also say that too. But there's plenty of people who will give me a high five or I'll say good, and who will say good job. What I want
Mm,
are people who are going to hold me to a higher standard.
yeah.
What I want are people also like I mean, this is why you and I are friends.
Yeah.
Hold me to a higher standard. Uplift me, push me, challenge me. That is also what I do for my clients. That's what I
Yeah.
want to do for people, right? That, what is it that you want,
Yeah.
right? Because life is too short. And let's have, like, that's why, like, someday is now. Like, let's create and design or redesign, if we need to,
Mm,
our best lives right now. And and not delay this,
yeah.
right? That I want people who are going to push me and challenge me and say, not just good job, right?
Yeah.
We love everybody who says good job, but you know what? I also want the let's let's actually go to the next level together.
Yeah.
Let's and when the bumps in the road happen, because they happen, um, we can hold each other up, and we can get through the that space, and we can keep moving forward. And yeah, at the end of the day, and we I um
That's it.
oh, we
Yeah,
don't know
that's
we
it.
don't
Yeah,
know
that no,
yeah.
that's an important piece. So we're not sugarcoating it. We're not gonna, um, this is the real deal. We do need people to challenge us and take really, really hold us to the fire. And I
And in a
think,
in a loving way, right? In a
yeah,
loving way. Yeah.
yeah, right. Like what's coming to the table and be in the heart space, but you said you were going to do this. Why aren't you doing this? Like, like really, that's what this retreat is going to be. I'm already preparing now, like, which is good because the
I love
intentions
it.
are there. Like, the journal process has to happen. The vision board has
Yeah.
to happen. So prepared when I step into circle in space in Miami, I'm ready to go with what my vision is. And so I can even hold the container for other women. I know you're going to facilitate that so beautifully, but with fire, with the fire. So I'm really so pleased to have this conversation. This is so powerful. Let's see. Is there anything else maybe you want to share or how people can, um, you know, find you if they want to come into some accountability space with you or have 15-minute chat with you, or what are you offering?
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
So I'm always happy to connect with people uh, um, on either Instagram or Facebook. You can find me at Jean Fedora O'Toole. I also have a community. It's called Best Life Collaborative.
Mm,
That's on Facebook, and I'd love to welcome you in for inspiration. You can, find me at genotoole.com, and I would love so much if you're wanting some support, just reach out and we can always have a call to see where you're at. And
mm,
if it aligns, maybe it aligns for us to work together. But no matter what, I'm massively passionate about, supporting people in having them move into momentum of
yeah.
what it is that they're wanting to do in their life, right? We can there's so many ways to remove the major obstacles that many of us have been delayed by, right? Whether that, for some people it might be financial delays or feeling like there's opportunity delays or health delays, or there's lots of things that can kind of slow us down. So we want to, I like to put people in if it's not with me, to put them into connection with resources and provide, strategies to help people just accelerate, just
Mm,
accelerate. And one of the last things I definitely want to share today, Jane, because it came
mm,
up in a session that I had today with one of my clients, and I'm so grateful for all of my clients. I work with people all over the world, and I was in session today with a client who was she was talking about a you know a really big worry that she had in her life, and sometimes it's a worry, sometimes it's a fear, sometimes it's a concern, sometimes it's a doubt, right? That's kind of keeping us in this space of stagnation, or keeping us in this space of um Brennan Burchard calls it the space of comfortable, right?
mm,
We stay in comfortable. And really the growth, or the next, to kind of the growth happens in the edge, kind of the growth happens in uncomfortable, right? We kind of move through that to get to our next level. So this client earlier today, there was a worry that we were doing some coaching around. And for her, it was a really big worry. And it was keeping her kind of frozen in so to speak, in her life. And so one of the important pieces that we do is let's just stand and look at it, right? Because what do we do as human beings? We want to avoid it, right? Like,
mm,
I don't even want to think about that. I don't want to work. I don't even want to put any attention on that. Well, let's just look at it. Let's just look at it, right? Let's look at it. Let's put it right smack dab in the middle of the conversation table. Let's actually just take a walk around the whole thing.
mm,
And when we get clear about, even in our minds, right? What's that worry, like what's the worst thing that could happen? If the worst thing in your mind were to happen, what would you do? When we actually we give ourselves the space to start saying, well, I don't want that to happen, but if that were to happen, I would do this, then I would do this, then I'd probably, ask for this help or whatever. Like, we start to actually create a map.
mm,
It now starts to dial down. It's not about bringing a fear, worry, doubt, or concern down to zero. But when I get awareness of the fear,
mm,
and I get awareness of my own capabilities of what I would do if that worry came to fruition, right? I now have a map. I now have a plan of what's going to happen. Now I can move through it.
mhm.
And that's how we can move out of delay and stuck state, and we can actually start to ignite the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. That's a beautiful story. How blessed, people get to work with you, and how blessed that you can lead people back home, but like to a higher potential. Yeah, we don't want to miss our lives. Yeah, we don't
No,
want to miss our lives. And I think this is the mantra. This is the nectar, the gem. So if anybody wants to reach out to Jean, do that, get a 15-minute, come back to the ignite your fire, have some consciousness around it, and come on some world retreats with us. Get the framework and and truth, find your truth. And sounds like yeah, you're gonna Jean will hold the space. So I'm part of your community and I feel really blessed and
me
so
too, so much.
happy. So happy you've inspired me to even relook at some of my practices. And I've had so many different things, but like make it my own. So yeah, this is going to be super cool getting cured up. So you have everybody has all the information to connect with Gino Toole, and we're going to be super excited to see what's next for everybody. And thank you so much for being on the Stellar Lux podcast with amazing
Hey,
women.
thank you.
You're welcome. And I really just enjoyed your story so much. I know people will really enjoy this story. It's just real, grounded. And this is what leadership looks like, everybody. This is it, the little bit self-reflection and go for it. Yeah, thank
Thanks
you.
again, Jane, for all
You,
that you're doing and all of the community that you're building.
thank
And
you.
I'll see you in Miami.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, I really appreciate you. Okay, we'll be in touch. All
Okay.
right.